guys. So, let's see what we're looking at so far. This guy, we're gonna move just a little touch. There we go. Zoom you guys in just a little bit. That's a bit too far. There we go. Not too crazy. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Everything's looking fantastic. You guys are looking amazing. Thank you for being here and joining the live show. I'm gonna tell you everything I've done so far to this canvas. It's a 24 by 24 inch canvas, so it's a perfect square. What I did was I took a piece of tape, laid it all the way across, and blacked out my dark area down here. And then I took the same little spongy deal and kind of made some faraway rocks and made this guy a little bit closer. Then I let it dry completely, and when it came time to paint this canvas right here, we took our liquid clear or linseed oil and put it on the bottom. So it's a little wet. You can even see the glare on my fingertip. And then we put our Bob Ross liquid white up on the top of the canvas. So the whole thing is wet and slick and ready to go, right? So let's take our colors. We'll go through the colors we have today. Our dioxazine purple, our phthalo green, Van Dyke brown, dark sienna brown, yellow ochre, cadmium yellow, a bit of our sap green, phthalo blue, Prussian blue, alizarin crimson, midnight black, and titanium white. We need to get one more color out before we start. And that's the Indian yellow that I love so much. It's just a gorgeous color for a sunset. So it looks like an orange color in the tube, but it's not an orange color. Especially when you mix it with that liquid white that's on our canvas, it becomes a very bright yellowy golden color. It's a fantastic little thing. Let's get a little bit more of our white out. You guys, you gotta check in. Tell me where you're watching from. What's your favorite sandwiches? We all love to know the question. And what time is it where you are? I always love to ask that question because people are watching at different times. Even after the live stream is over, they're going to be watching it, and then they'll comment and say, oh, it's 3:37 in the afternoon. And I love that. I love knowing when you guys are watching and where you're at in this world. So check in. Tell me where you're watching from. What time is it? Now that our canvas is nice and wet and we added our Indian yellow to the mix, we're going to be fan-schmabulous. It's just really going to be awesome. Should we add that one? Let's do one more. One more little color. Why is Josh never ready? Let's get our Meaden paints out today as well, right? This is the Madder Carmine. You can also use permanent red or the crimson color if you have it. And we're just going to add a little, just a little bit of it because we don't need a whole lot. I'll show you exactly what it was. Just a small little amount, right? Look at the size of the pile in comparison to these other giant piles that we're going to be using. And we always use much less on a Seascape, right? So let's get started, everybody. If you're watching over on YouTube, just make sure you give me one little thumbs up. That's all we need from you. And with my wet canvas, remember, the whole canvas is wet along the top. We'll take our Indian yellow first. I love the Indian yellow. It's fabulous. We don't want to put it all the way down on our horizon. So let's start up here. And let's start dropping it down and allowing it to spread out with our Bob Ross liquid white that's on the canvas, right? That blending medium. It allows it to really just grow and grow and grow and get lighter and lighter and lighter. See where we put it on? It's very vibrant. And then as it blends out and mixes, it gets softer and softer and softer as it goes, right? It's fabulous. Let's take this little tiny, you can see we're trying to get as little of it on the brush as possible. We don't want to have a whole 10-ton of an amount. And already we're probably halfway through that little pile that we put on there. We're only going to use it into our sky. Right, and the Meaden paint is very wet compared to the Bob Ross paint. And it likes to spread out much more easily. Right? We take some of that color and plop it down in here. I know. You never know what it's going to look like until you go and do it. Let's take some of our pinky color, put it around the edges, put it around the top, where we have that crimson, right? And we know it's going to blend in and start to change and mix with our color as we blend it. And we know that's going to happen. Now, let's just say we mix all this crimson out, right? Leave it a little bit light, and then we'll come in here with our dioxazine purple from the Gamblin set, which I found to be the most purpliest paint you've ever seen. Even when it blends in with this liquid white, it stays very dark, right? It's very cool. Just a little aura around our scene, right? Don't even have to make it all the way. It's gonna blend, guys, so don't even worry too much about it. We can even take some of that purple and put it underneath it. You really can. You can do whatever you want to do. See how it's very thick in that one space? If you just mix it, it becomes less thick. That almost looks like a little cloud out there. Just finger painting madness over here. Let's take a little bit more of that purple. I love that purple color. There. Oh yeah. Right. Now we can't blend with this brush because, as you can see, the more that we touch the canvas, the more paint drops off of the brush and gets on the canvas. So let's go wash it off. Here we go, guys. Fabulous. Okay. Now, how did we wash it? We dipped it into our odorless mineral spirits, right? Shook off the excess into a trash can, and then bring out the old beater bucket and just beat the living crap out of that brush. It really knocks all the paint off, and I'll show you one that we have right here that Brenda made for us, right? It's just a little trash can with a wood doweling down that's drilled in between the center, right? So, get it up on the side. There we go. Through the center, and then it's got this hole with a little thing cut in it, and it's a hello, shoot, guys, what the, how did we get one already? But in any case, it is nice because the spray kind of keeps contained while you're in there with your hand, right? Very cool, very simple. I suggest you guys make one like that. It's very easy to do. Now, what did we just get? How did we, who did we, what? Oh, okay, here we go. It's not the painting, but it might be a palette, you guys. It might just be a little palette. Let me see. It is Janice. Thank you for your order of the palette. I will get that out to you right away. Let me show you what they look like. This is what Janice just grabbed from paintwithjosh.com. Right? It is the small palette. You can either hold it with your right hand if you're a left-handed painter like this, right? Or vice versa, hold it with your left hand if you're a right-handed painter like me. Now, it's got the Paint with Josh logo on both sides in the night. So thank you, Janice, for that. Those are available in my store. You can grab them if you would like. They're very cool. I also have them in clear, just like the ones that we have here. But the clear is only cut on the one side. Otherwise, if you put the other logo right here, they would kind of blend in with each other. It's etched in there, guys. Listen. An old credit card, right? Etched in, and that way it's not going to peel off over time. Very cool. So thank you, Janice. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Now let's see what we can do with a clean, dry brush. We're going to go into the lightest part of our sky first, and we'll just start crisscrossing back and forth, right? Allowing the colors to mix and change. We know that the more that we push that red or crimson and bring it down into our yellow, the more it's going to change. Right? The more pressure that I drag across, the more color will mix in with those yellows and the liquid whites, constantly mixing, mixing, and mixing. And we're just basically making a big aura around our light spot first. Right? Blending the edges of our dark area. We know there's just a bunch of pink up here, so let's just blend that guy down. Remember, you can grab this painting if you go to paintwithjosh.com. You can have it. It's going to be fantastic. Look at that. Gorgeous little thing. Now, let me get in front of you real quick, and we'll just blend these edges down a little. That way they're a little softer. Perfect. Now, once I come out here into my Prussian blue, and we start to drag this color over, you'll see it start to fade, right? Mixing in with that crimson all the time, and the more purple that we pull down, the more darkness you're going to bring with it. And so you decide. The more that we keep going side to side, the more purple will cover or blend with your yellow color. So how vibrantly do you want it? How much paint is on your canvas or on your brush that you're trying to move and spread and blend, right? That's literally it. It's just like makeup, guys. The more you blend it out, the more it'll all be the same, right? So if you want to have some differences, you'll leave some differences. And you see how you just drag right over those faraway little islands and just push them out into the night. The more paint that you put over them, the harder they become to see, right? Especially if it's a darker paint like that purple. That is fantastic. Now, how far do you want that purple to spread inward? Do you really want it to go forever and cover all of your yellow? Or do you want to find a nice even spot where maybe you have a little bit of shadows, you saved a little bit of pink, you got some of that stuff in there. It's fantastic. Look at this spot though. Very harsh little line. So what we do, just push on it a little bit harder, crisscross it down, start to blend out that color. Right? The more you do it, the more it'll start to blend. Just back and forth and back and forth. Get that thing to go softer. softness in the night. The more we push that purple too. So push that purple, the further it's gonna go. So be careful. Right now, you can also, if you just find that you can't get it blended right, you can switch to a clean dry brush and hit your light area and dark area seam right here and just blend it a little bit. That's all you gotta do. Bang! This really cool little sky out there, guys. Just in a few minutes, throwing some stuff down, and it's fantastic, right? It's fantastic. Let's get a little bit of our white. You know, our big old thick titanium white paint right here. It is the thickest paint you've ever come in contact with. Like, literally, it would hold the brush. Look at that. It literally, if I stick the brush in, it holds the brush like a suction cup, quite honestly, right? You can't do that with acrylic paints. Oh, thank you, I'll take that back, sir. Thank you. Appreciate that. Now, let's come in here and let's deposit all of that white we just had right up into the bright spot of our sky. Right? Get all that craziness. Look what it does to the brush. It turns it to all that yellowy, orangey color because that's what we were running the brush through, right? If we come in here, grab up a little bit more, drop down a little bit, right? Let them grow together in places. We know that the paint is going to move down when we start to mess with it. But if we don't have enough, it's not going to move enough. It's not going to grow enough. It's not going to be crazy enough. We have to decide when that craziness is, how much you want it to be, how bright do you want it, how far do you want your cloud to roll downwards into the night. It's all up to you guys, literally. Right? Come out here and you just mix it up because it's very thick. Doesn't really want to move. It stays kind of bright. Right? Take that guy, push him. If we really want it to get softer, you just work on it a little bit more and it will soften itself down. The more that you push on it, the softer it gets. So it's kind of a judging game. And you go, okay, how do we want it to look? Let's say we want it to look like that, right? Or we wanted to blend this out a little bit more, or make this guy come down a bit so it's not so noticeable, and really push on it at the bottom. Like, how do you want it to look? Because each time that you do it, you get to be a little different, right? Say we wanted to have a flat bottom side to this guy out here. Just scrub that other paint away, right? Do you not want it there? Scrub it out. How does it look to you guys? Literally, every time you do it can be a little different. I like to be random and odd with it and just take little things and pull them down every so often so you get these cool little things happen out there, right? They're so much fun, you guys. Literally a blast. Now, we don't have to put anything else underneath, right? But if you wanted, maybe there was like a little, just a soft little floater out there. Right? It doesn't even have to connect, doesn't have to do anything that we don't want it to do. And the more that we blend it, the softer it will get. Right? So if you don't touch it a lot, it stays nice and bright. Touch it too much, and it blends away softly, right? So again, what do you want it to look like? I kind of want it to just be a little flat little thing out there, scrubbing away at its bottom. Just until it is what it is, right? And then watch. If I don't like that, just blend it all away and literally take it out of our sky completely like it was never there before. Hello, guys! What do we get that time? My goodness, Mark. My dude, Mark, got one of my... What is that? Do I still have that paint? Pretty sure I have that one somewhere around here. Thank you, Mark. I very much appreciate you all the time. All the time. Add a little bit more whiteness to the tip tops. And then I'm going to blend it a little softer. And that way, it will stay brighter than the rest. Because we worked the rest of it a lot. Got it real crazy-like. Right? And if we just go over this guy a little bit, it'll be a bit brighter, and we'll have our differences in our color back there, right? Fabulous. Yes! Now, you guys know me. When I have a sky that I just really like, I gotta put just a version of Karen out there somewhere. Somewhere out there. Look at that. Flying out of the clouds. Fabulous. It doesn't have to be straight. I like doing it on an angle sometimes. You just very softly whip it out there. Come up here and just kind of mix the base where it's coming out. Ooh, looks like two. Oh, there was a double jet. You know, they get coming out of both engines. That looks nice. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it because it looks more realistic to me. just to my own self. Now we're going to come in here. I'm going to swipe up from the bottom. All right, just like that, swiping over from the side. All it does is just soften any brush strokes or hard bits of paint that you had out there. Just softens them down. Now that I'm looking at this thing, I do want it to be perfect. There we go. Right, it's that big, maybe it goes on for longer. It's all up to us each time we go to do it. Make it a little different. Streak it out a bit further, and all of a sudden, you got yourself a little contrail in the day. Not the night, the day. In the daytime. The more you brush over it, the softer it looks out there. Very cool. Very cool. Okay, we need to get some undercolors down onto our canvas now. Do you know what the undercolors do? Do you know? Do you see? Do you know what the undercolors are there to do? They're there so we can go across them. Who is Karen? So Karen is London's mom, her late mother, who we lost due to a bad doctor. And every so often, I try to put her out in the sky with us, kind of flying over, and sort of makes me emotional, so I tend not to try to talk about it too much, because I don't want to sit up here and cry in front of all you guys. I mean, you know, we've done it, we've had our crying moments, but I like to keep it bottled up long enough to let it build up into where we explode. That's what we like to do. There we go. Let's get a little bit of our Prussian blue, just a little bit of it. And I'm going to drop down just a small little bit, maybe like an inch away from the thing. Just put a bit of Prussian blue, like a little triangle, a little fatter over here, a little skinnier over here. And it's very hard to see because it's a very dark paint, right? What if, though, if we had another brush, because we got kind of this sunset-y feel, if we take the Indian yellow, which is a transparent color, meaning that when you put it over the darkness and you blend it out enough, it's hard to see. Right? There's a lot of it right there, but if I really blended it, it would make it harder and harder and harder and harder and harder to see that. Also, since we're blending the yellow with the blue that's underneath, we're going to have a wicked cool green and all these different colors in the night. It's going to be fantastic. Just quite literally amazing. Literally amazing, right? If we wanted to, take our sky. Sometimes I'll do it like this. Get that sky to just go down enough. Cover over, right? Sometimes it looks kind of neat when you have a little bit of orange shining from the underside, right? Way back from behind those clouds. That's cool. That's cool right there, guys. We're running out of brushes already. So, since we have our Indian yellow and our Prussian blue, they're going to make a really dark green back here. We have our Prussian blue on the brush. So let's go into our phthalo green, right? And let's put a little bit of that phthalo-y green just at the bottom of the blue, and again, make it a little fatter on its one side, and thicker into a little thinner. That's all we ever really do. That helps me with perspective and stuff like that, is having it thinner on one side, thicker on the other. So this is further away, this is a little bit closer, right? Judging on its differences back in there. Put a little bit of our phthalo green back around there too, just in case we didn't have enough. Now, we're going to switch back to the blue. Go back to the blue. Just dab the brush on a paper towel. Didn't really clean it. Dab it on a paper towel. We're going to put some of that blue right underneath the phthalo green. Just dropping it on. It's very thick, right? We're not trying to really spread it out too much. Otherwise, it'll over mix. And we won't have these little differences. But now you can sort of see, right? We're up here to down here. This is further away. This is closer. We've got all of our things all laid out and ready. And now that we have our blue right down in here, just almost to touch some white on my brush. That's not what we wanted to do. But now that we've got a bit of our blue down here, we try to keep it nice and dark. And that way, you can brighten it up to your liking with the white. Now, we need one more brush, or wash off a brush that you got. And we're going to put our dark brown colors down there. So we're going to use both the browns on the brush, just mixing them both right here on the brush. And that way you'll have all these little differences. That piece of skin out of there. You'll have all these little differences in there. There'll be different browns at different places. Okay, so we'll put our brown right up underneath the blue. If you can leave a little dark space, perfect. If not, that's okay too. some of it up here too. There we go. Doesn't have to be the brightest brown you've ever seen. Doesn't even really have to be across the whole canvas. We're gonna brighten it up as we go, right? It's gonna be really cool. So, I gotta take some time to clean off these brushes real fast. I don't have any place to put anything down. Okay, so while I'm cleaning off these brushes, you guys check in, tell me where you're watching from, what time is it where you are right now, and I'm gonna get going. I'll show you too, because I need to refill my little jug over here. This is the stuff that we use. It's called odorless mineral spirits. I don't know if you want to take a screenshot of that maybe, but that's the stuff that we like to use out here. And it's very clear coming out of the tube. Don't get the milky stuff, that's no good. Make sure it's clear. And make sure it's the odorless stuff. That other stuff is, ooh, a bad business. Especially if you're trying to paint inside. You don't want to have that other stuff. So you guys check in, tell me where you're watching from. Let's see. Watching from Germany. We're using oil paints over here. Thank you, Danielle, excuse me. I appreciate that. Thanks, Josh K. That's me. That's me over on YouTube congratulating my own self. So thank you, Josh K. I appreciate that. Watching from Trinidad, Ohio, Australia, Tennessee. Man, thanks, Greg. I appreciate you over there on YouTube. The Chicago area, Alabama, Santa Cruz, nice. Louisiana. You guys are watching from all over the place. I love it. St. Louis, New York, Indiana, Wisconsin, Florida, England, Illinois, Georgia, Pennsylvania, Montana, Florida, Arkansas, everywhere. You guys are amazing, literally. Indonesia, Switzerland, Kansas, Ohio, Mississippi, Texas, Minnesota, Arizona, Riverside. Man, you guys are all over. Okay, I'm gonna wash off some of these little brusharooskies. Didn't I? Oh, I didn't, because I refilled the tub. That's why. So didn't I already do this one? Okay. Let's clean off a few of these. You guys keep checking in. Make friends. Maybe you got somebody that lives close to you, and you're like, hey, I didn't know you were a Paint with Josh follower too. Right? And you never know, especially if you're rewatching over on YouTube and it's not during the live stream. I always love seeing where you guys are from. And then I try to respond to everybody and at least say thanks for checking in, you know what I mean? We've actually responded to every single YouTube comment that there has ever been, has been responded to since like last weekend. Why do I keep putting the lid on this thing? I need the lid off. Thank you. There we go. So, if you want a response, we go through those like crazy. It's like one of the first things I do every morning is I open up YouTube and respond to the comments and then continue on with my day. Along with as many other platforms as we can as well. Instagram, Facebook gets a lot of responses over there too. TikTok, I try to get all the people. It's hard though, you know. It's hard when you get to such a certain level. It's hard to respond to everybody, and that kind of bums me out because I like responding to people and talking and chatting and making new frenzies across the world. Okay. All right. What am I trying to pick up my trash can for? I'm way too pineapples. I'm trying to pick up the trash can to paint. Goodness. Okay, guys. Where are you from? Boom, ba-boom. See, people are like, oh, you used to live in Rhode Island. I used to live in Rhode Island. You guys are amazing. Dominican Republic, thank you for watching. Okay, let's get out here with our palette knife or putty knife. People call it a lot of different things, right? We'll flatten it down, and all we're really worried about is this edge right here. This long side. That's what we're going to paint with the entire time. We're not going to use the top. We're not going to use the side. We're not going to use this edge over here. I mean, you could, but only on the sides because then your handle would get in the way, right? So we're only going to use this side right here, and it doesn't even have to be a tool like that. There's many different shapes. You can find the one that works best for you. If you like the Paint with Josh one, then I suggest grabbing those off of Craft Ammo, off of their website, craftammo.com, and then you search for Paint with Josh, you'll find it. Let's drop down and let's just skirt a little line, just like that. Little thing, right? Doesn't have to be crazy. Let's disconnect from that guy and make something else out there. Right? See how far we just push those little mountains into the distance? Not let alone that they're very dark and mysterious, right? But we've taken them and pushed them farther away with our paint in the sky. And then by cutting in front of them with our oceany water, that again pushes them into the distance, which just gives us more depth, guys. More depth, better paintings, right? See how we came up and kissed right there? So let's not allow all the color to touch everywhere, right? We came back like that, and dipped down, and skirted over here and here, right? We want it to be connected to the front edge, but not to the back. And that way, look at that green. Didn't I tell you to have a wicked cool green in there? That way, you have your little disconnects, your different waves, right? There's so many waves coming in back there. And we don't need to paint them all, guys. We don't have to paint them all. I can see there's an eye right here. I can see it. So let's take a little bit, and let's just make a little baby crasher out here. Just rolling over, right? A little bit of that light color on the top, and then it fades to nothing as we just give it a little flick. Just a little thing. Doesn't have to be humongous, right? We know the water's going to come down and smash, bang, right down there. And then all that water's going to be feeding its way back up to our little wave as it's all rolling, right? It's just basically doing this the whole time. You just have to pick a spot in that moment in time and go, okay, if I want it to look like that, then I have to do this. You know what I mean? Launch down our little faraway wave. He's crashing out there in the distance. He's out in the distance. Now we'll grab a little fan brush. Paint with Josh fan. There. The little old Paint with Josh fan brush, right? It's just a baby. Little baby fan brush. Come in here, very light, very small amount of paint, very small pressure, very small lines. We don't want the lines to get very big. We don't need this guy to get big. Just let it blend in, right? Mixing it up a touch. You can go back in with the Paint with Josh 1-inch brush because it's very soft and it's smaller than the Bob Ross one. You can get a few more little things to blend out. Oh, look at that. Fantastic. Now, we don't have to have each wave be doing the same thing, right? This guy could have been crashing in from this side as well. Doesn't even have to go the whole way. It'd just be rolling over, right? It all depends on how it looks down here. Let's go straight. Remember, we're trying to make it just a small little guy, not taking over our whole canvas. Now it's rolling up, but we're going to the side first. Side, 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 side. Then rolling up into that light area. Just like that. Very small amounts of paint, guys. There's nothing on the knife. Look, it's nothing there, right? It's barely anything on here. So you don't want to put too much. That's really going to hurt us. Now, what I'm going to do, just to make this one even cooler, I can see it in my head. After going to the coast with Cosmic, I have so much inspo in my brain. Bang, look at that, right? After just watching, you just go to the coast one time and just take like just a video of the waves and watch it. Watch what they do as they're rolling in, rolling over. Some places are a bit crazier, some places are wild. That must be them rolling a car jack around. Okay, I'm gonna get a little liquid white, a little of my titanium white. And we're gonna bring this guy up, 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 up. Just like that, little splashers right above the eye of that wave. Rolling, getting crazy. And again, a little bit more of my liquid white just to have it stick with the lightest of touches. Right? When we mix this guy up, then we bring it down here and we start plopping on little things, leaving areas, right? The whole little wave is rolling over while this guy's about to roll over. And pop it on and just make it a little bit less. Bink! As it's rolling that way. We get this whole crazy thing. Now, how soft can you get in here and make those little bits? Because it's not supposed to look like our brush, right? Make these very soft, rolling deals. Out here we push a little harder, make it grow a little bit more. Right? That soft little rolling action as it's going in there. Very cool. I like that. Right? You can take this guy, feed it up, feed it up, feed it up. Getting flatter and flatter and flatter as we go out to the side though. Because that's the way the water is going to want to move. It's not yet had a chance to roll up yet, so it gets flat out here. Flat, 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 flat. Here we go. Very cool. This guy we can start to drag down from the top and almost let him connect. Don't need everything out there connecting all over the place, right? Very cool, guys. Now I'm gonna get a little bit more of my liquid white because this guy's very yellow. We're gonna come in here and just add little bits of white kind of on top of those yellow areas. See that? We're getting a few more little things to stick out, stand out away from our little guy as he's crashing, rolling down. Right? There's so much force out there, and it's pushing and throwing these bits. Right? Come in, add a few little things just to mess it up, just a touch. Right? Little bits out there in the day. You thought I was gonna say in the night, didn't ya? Didn't ya? Getcha. Okay, get out there. Right? How big do you want this guy to roll and flap down? That's all on you. Right? Do you need that guy to be all over the place? Back up in here, kind of flattens off. You never know. You never know until you're out there doing yours. So, get out there. Make something happen with your waves, right? Always trying to come up with something different when we're out here. Now, let's take a little bit of that liquidy white, titanium white mix, and we know we're gonna have some more smaller things in here, so let's extend this guy out. All right, just by scraping it and scraping it and scraping it. We can extend it, make it a little flatter down here, right? Not everything is gonna be rolling up on the ocean out there. There we go. That's gonna be gorgeous. Right in there, right in there, right in there. See those little ripples, those little dips and thingies, and here and there, and just a little whoop. Just be fast with it. Somebody asked me earlier, like, how do you do this? And I'm like, you gotta be quick, right? You don't want it to, can't just go slow and have it break off of your knife like that. At least I don't like doing it like that. A little bit more difficult, I feel, if you're trying to go too slow. So try to be a little bit faster with it. You know what I mean? Whip something out. Let it fall off your knife and just be watching, right? And go, ooh, that looks cool. Why don't we stop there? Because that's what it's all about, guys. Letting these little things jiggle and wiggle and find their way up to the top just by turning our knife, rolling them out, rolling them in, pushing a little harder, getting these little bits to drop off. It's literally it, right? We're getting that liquid white, titanium white mix onto our brush, knife, excuse me. Over here, pull it down, just like that. Mix it down, and then what are we doing? We're just trying to make some odd little designs. That's literally it, right? Get brighter on the front than it is in the back, and you've got yourself a cool looking little wave, no matter what the color is or what the, you know, however you have it. You just want it to be a little different. Don't make them all the sheen, man. A few little bits off rolling up that side too. Very cool. Very cool, guys. Now, what if we had, if just roll in it, roll over the side of this guy, drag it down a bit. It's got so much liquid white right here, it's making it hard to do. So I'm gonna have to extend that out again, just because of the liquid white. Each time, guys, it's something you gotta figure out. Let's get a little bit of our titanium white now, right? We need a thicker white in order to grip and grab. There's another little wave right there. Just a little baby guy. Right? How does yours look? How is yours rolling? Do you have little multiple ones? Is it just the one? How does it go? Because each time, it's going to look a little different. I'm telling you, just from experience. You can drag this guy down too. Just fill out little places. That's all we ever do, guys. Just adjust. Adjust to what's happening. Like, all right, what's going on down here? Let's get this guy cleaned up. Right? Boom, boom, boom. Toss a little wave out there. And all of a sudden, you're all set to go, right? Am I the crazy one? What's going on over here, guys? Let's drop down this guy and connect him to the underside of these little dudes down here. Because each time we do it, we can do something different. It doesn't all have to be the same thing. Right? What if, I do like that guy. He's got to get a little less, there we go. He's rolling over the side. Looking pretty cool, guys. Pretty cool. Let's take this guy back here, too. Just let him get a little lower, a little lower, a little lower. It doesn't even have to come down and touch all the way. right? We're in control of what's going on. We can decide if we want to make it brighter, if we want to make it darker, whatever the case may be, is up to us, guys. Right, so I'm going to have this guy really angled up on his beach. This was flowing down, flowing down, flowing down. This whole little line. Now we can decide maybe we want to have little bits of this guy kind of get lit up from his bit of foam right down here in the front. Okay. And lead back into a darker section of wave, or you can take this guy and drag it over just very lightly and fill it in without overfilling it, right? Making it look like a little shadow out there. As it's rolling down, all we're really painting, remember, is the stuff that's floating on top of the water. And there's a lot of stuff floating on top of the water, especially around that sea lion cave. There was so much tumultuousness going. Oh, fabulous. Fabulous, fabulous. What we're doing, trying to get the little smallest bit of that color just right up underneath, leaving little things, little bits, however it wants to be. You can connect the color up here in the front, feeding it backwards. All depends on us and how we want it to look. Yes! Okay, now we got our water back here. We got a little bit of a splasher in there. Why don't we get just a bit of our liquid white, big old fan brush. Big old Gak Doctor fan brush will come in here with our titanium white, liquid white mix. Okay, and let's just say at the base of this little guy, just put a little rolling bit of foam. Right? Again, how do you want it to look? Touch onto it. Don't mess around after that, right? Don't want to mess around with the little rolling foamy action piece. And it doesn't even all have to be the same, but we'll make it go like that, right? Depending on what we drag backwards, very light amount of color, very small, feeding up to that wave, or you can let it roll over and kind of connect. But again, we're only painting the foam that's on the top, so not everything has to be so bright. Right? You want to leave those shadowy spots in there. They make for really cool little things. Just the coolest little things, don't they? Pop it down here. A little bit of our water rolling towards us. And if you wanted some crashers on your little wave to the left, right, you just pop them in back here. They're rolling down and smacking. Right? These little bits, remember to leave a little space in between them though. We need to have some bit of difference as it's rolling over between the back edge and this edge right here. Again, the more that you drag onto it, the brighter it's going to be. So you're in control of how much brightness is going down, how much is leading back and away, right? What the angles are. Everything out there is up to you. You get to decide. All in your brain, right? And I never like putting too much color on. It kind of gets rid of the dark spaces, right? We want to keep those dark areas. So let's not do too much over there, and we'll get underneath our little guy with a little bit of liquid white and our titanium white mix. And we'll throw in some beachiness, and then I'm going to go back and hit that rock on the left. It's going to be fabulous. All right, we'll get underneath him. And just again, lots of liquid white, lots of titanium white on the brush. Knife, push hard down on it so it falls out the back side, right? Literally pushing with like full pressure. Does not have to look good, right? We're gonna go brush it out anyway. We just need a bit of that liquidy white underneath. It's gonna make a really cool thing for our sand, right? Kind of looks neat the way it is right now, but we're gonna make it look cooler, okay? We're gonna make it look so much cooler, guys. I'm going to come down in here and start to pull on it. Lots of pressure, full pressure, pull it. All right, the higher we go, the less there is. Pull down, pull down, pull down, pull down, pull down, pull down, pull down. How far do you want your wet, watery sandiness to go? All right, now doesn't that look like sand? Be honest. Tell me the truth. Tell me the truth. Does it look like sand or not? Let me know. All those cool little watery little waves in the night. Thank you, Air Endo. Appreciate it. Mr. Joker voice. You want to know how I got these scars? Do you want to know? Why is he such a good painter? I don't know. I don't know. I practice a lot. That's partly the reason why, I would imagine. Hey, now, if you don't think it looks like sand just yet, why don't we take all those vertical streaks and pull them into horizontal streaks. Right? And then we can mess around with how bright we want the whole rest of it to get. Now, doesn't that look more like sand, considering we're not even going to add anything to the back area back here? Doesn't that look like wet sand? You guys! It will, says Katie. Watching from Cambridge, Ontario, Canada. That's amazing. Thank you for watching. See, doesn't that look like sand now? Isn't that just the most gorgeous thing you've ever seen? I sure like it. Let's see. Okay, remember, if you like this painting, it's available. It's over there on paintwithjosh.com. I'm going to come underneath this guy, and we're just going to plop in just a little of that liquidy white stuff right there. Just right underneath. Bang, just like that. Some areas, when we cut through our little foaminess, you know what I mean? You can change things up in an instant. Quite literally an instant. And have them look a different way. All up to you guys. How many little wavy things do you want back there as well? Again, all up to you. You have the opportunity to do so many things. You have no idea. Like, you're already an artist. You just haven't picked up the brushes yet. Right? You haven't grabbed the knife yet and tried it out, but you're already there. I can tell you. I can tell you. You can do it just the same as us. Right? I try to show you every little possible thing, every technique, every time we change something or do something a little different. Hello, guys! What was that? Another something small. Oh, we got a palette, guys. Thank you. That's Josh K over there, looking like he grabbed a palette from old Paint with Josh. I appreciate you. Looks like you got the black one too, which is one of my faves. I'm gonna come underneath this guy just a little, just to get rid of that little shadow right there. Little things, it's all different, it's all crazy. Remember, this one's available, guys. We'll go grab this liquid white and our titanium, but much less of the titanium white, right? And in fact, let's just stop while we're ahead, because we're probably gonna have to redo this if we do it now. So let's wait, and then we'll come back, okay? Get that stuff off. Let's go take care of this big old section, because we're gonna lose a lot of this right here. This spot, right? Our rock projects out into this area. So we need to mix up a bit of our Paint with Josh plaque mix. Does anybody know what that consists of? Let me just get this mead and crimson out of here, right? Yeah. No, well, let's mix it. We'll put it into our brown color over there too. It'll make an even cooler looking brown, right? So what are the three colors that we like to mix in order to make our Paint with Josh plaque? Do you know? Have you been watching enough shows? Have you seen enough little videos to know the three colors? Because if not, then you got to check the comments. There's going to be lots of people in there in the comments section that know those three Ps. And, well, the three colors and the three Ps. I told you guys we're all pineapples over here. Okay, now let's imagine if that big wave is crashing onto that rock, right? Then I'm going to have a little liquid white, a little titanium white. I'm going to have a massive spray coming off of that. You know what I mean? If it goes over there and hits, and then boom, kind of make it rounded out here. Right? Wherever you think it might be, however tall the water is going to be. And then, scoop out right where I want it to be so we don't have to mix in too much with that liquid or that white. All right? Take our darkness. Let's say we're going to come up here, get right on the edge of our darker area. How dark, how far does it project inwards? For you, could be different. If it came down like that, then it just looks like this whole thing's about to hit this giant opening. It's pretty cool. I like it. Guys, remember, project too. You've got to push some of that stuff back. Meaning, you have to cover some of the things that you do out here. All right, let's take some of this darkness, pull it backwards. How far, again, do you want it to come down? You want to get rid of this little bit of wave or not? I tend to like it, so I'm not going to get rid of it. You might want to do something different. Okay. Out here, let's make sure we got a bit of that thicker paint out there, projecting, bang, right into taking away certain things because you have to. You can't just have everything show. I'm telling you. I can hear a little of our liquid white just on the edge. It shows like a little bit of water crashing into that guy. Very cool. Now, what do we put on top of that guy, my friends, is the question. Let's mix this guy up a little bit too. There we go. Very soft. That paint with Josh brush, you can get into the tightest little places and mix things out, I'm telling you. Very cool. Okay, now let's decide. I know that way out there on the coast, you guys, we got some treesy poos out there. Just a few. So we're gonna come in here with our Paint with Josh fan brush. And let's start launching it down. Chucking some stuff in. I don't want to have my grass and different things hanging over the edge, so let's put a guy right here. Shoom. Right out there on the coast. Here, little tip taps and chip chaps. These guys can be as thick as you want. Remember, they're the closest thing to us. Now, the bigger they are, the closer it brings it to us as well. So you decide what you want them to look like, how far they come down, how they're sitting out there, if you want some exposed trunks, if you don't want some exposed trunks, all up to you. All right, let's plop this guy over here. Filling it up. Fill it up. All right, pop it down. And if you just keep going without taking any breaks, you get a tree that's all filled in. You know what I mean? Turn the brush back and forth and back and forth. Get your little trees out there looking cool, guys. Looking cool. I'm already digging it. I'm liking this one. Yeah. Okay. We're also going to take our liquid white and our grass mix. Does anybody know the two colors I use to make grass? I love these. Or moss or whatever. Right? I love these two colors together. No, I don't like to use them one-on-one or one, at a time. But if you pop them together, you can make some really cool stuff happen. Right? We can bring down bits of grass. We can drop things in here. We can let them dangle over. You can do whatever you want to do. Literally. Right? With those two colors and make them just look fantastic. I like it. Pop them down. I don't want to go all the way because I do want to have some color on our rocks. And we might have to go back over it. But let's take our dark sienna brown and our Van Dyke brown and that medium crimson. Why not? Mix them all up together. Make like a very reddish brown color. There we go. Now this is just our shadow color, so you'll be able to highlight this, right? We need to have some of that thick darkness as our base coat, right? And a lot of times the plaque just doesn't do it well enough. Get out there, lay it down right on top of that plaque. Remember, it can be as textured as it wants to be. Maybe it grows up into our grassy area like that. You never know. What does yours look like? Right? It's a round old bit of rock right there. It's coming down over here too. Right? And they're meeting up at the bottom. How does it look to you? Because it's gonna be all up to you when it comes to highlighting these guys, right? How do you want them to look? Maybe we get a bit of our titanium white and a bit of our cad yellow, or yellow ochre. A little touch of that brown. You see how we're kind of mixing in very slowly. That's what brightens it up. Now we got a different color brown than we had before. So maybe off of some of these little guys, we can get a few little drag marks. Change our direction, make it look like it's flat. Rip it down the other way, make it look a certain way. Right? Little things feeding off this way. Maybe that guy had a little bit of color coming down off of him too. They never all have to be the same, and we gotta have those dark areas in between. Right? Very cool. Very cool. Now let's take the rest of this plaque mix. Let's go make some more trees with it. All right, come in here, really loading it up. And maybe our next guy doesn't have to be so tall. They don't always have to continue getting taller and taller and taller. And I try to stay out of your guys' way as much as I can. Right? Just pushing against the tree, trying to deposit as much of the thick darkness as we can, blacking out everything else behind. You can have a couple little areas that shine through where our trees meet and stuff, a couple little bits, but you don't want them to be too thin. I always find if they're too thin and they're not really full of color, that they just don't look right. Right? And that's what it's about. Making them look right. down there. Right, again, just the corner, very small taps. The more that you tap it, so the more pressure that you push against it, the bigger your branch becomes, right? Turn our brush over, start pushing against it, and then widening out, right? Get wider and wider and wider. Now, you'll drop all of that texture off of your brush, so you have to go back in and make sure they're all textured up thick and nice like out there in the night. Those cool little things, you guys. Oh, it's fabulous. Just fabulous. What I don't like, though, is this little opening. And so, what do? Go back and fill it in, just that easy. However you want it to be done. Now, we could just, if we got a thin enough little branch or a little brush, launch in little guys in there. Not everywhere has to be a full completed tree. Right? Launching a couple little sticks back there. Just like there are other things back behind our first set of trees back here. Right? Little bits out in the forest. Very cool, guys. Very cool. I like it. Okay, looks like a little cave back there if you're asking old Paint with Josh. I would say that looks like a little cave in the night. And it's so thick right there, I could literally use it to make all different sorts of rocks back here too. Just because there's so much left on the canvas. Isn't that cool? Isn't that just the coolest little thing? Now, let's come down in here, get a little bit more of that grassy, mossy color. And let's launch down. Let's take it over this way. So we're going to go to the edge and then turn down. Go to the edge, turn down, go to the edge, turn down, the edge, turn down. And then all of a sudden we're just flat back here. We're just straight down. You know what I mean? We don't have to have everything fall down so perfectly all the time. Look at that though. Isn't that fabulous? 24 by 24 inch canvas, guys. Nice big one that you can have. If you get over to paintwithjosh.com, we can even launch up a little hill right in there. And change the whole bit of trees just by changing a bit of our color. Right? That's literally it. Launch that guy over. Dip them down, dip them over the rocks if you want. Say you didn't like your rocks, go back and cover them, man. Nobody's out there telling you you can't go back and cover them. You know what I mean? And we had a little change down here. We just started dipping down. Little bits, little things in the night. Wherever you want them to be, my friends, is where they get to be. That's the best part about it. Pull our little guy in over here. Or we can just add some rocks or something. We'll figure it out. We'll figure out over there. Right, he looks a little bit bright to me. So, if we came back, let's just darken out this whole thing. Just with that brown color from our thing. Right over the top. Right over the top. Right? Blend this guy in. Let that color grow outwards. Not try to interfere with our sand too much. Wipe off our brush again. Go back to our little liquidy white, greeny, yellowy mix. Launch it down, right? Each little time we do something is another little chance to do something different. Take a bit of our plaque. Let's come in here. Launch out a whole new little rock. Didn't I tell you we were going to end up covering over that thing if we did it at that moment? Now I have this whole rock just feeding back this way. Back and make sure it's very dark. Back here. And got our whole little thing. Nice and dark right there, right? The more things you put on it, the more you're gonna do. So let's get a little of our liquid white and a little touch of our greeny, yellowy goodness. Mossy good stuff, right? And we know, maybe off of this guy, just hang down a little bit of it. Just a couple little things hanging down. Little bits. Go back over, take our palette knife, launch in some of that dark paint that we have for our brown. Right, covering over whatever I don't want to see. Back in here a little bit more of that darkness. And we'll end up pulling it out underneath our guy and giving him just a little shadow right there. A little bit. We'll go back to our lighter color. Let's start whipping it around. How do you want it to look when you go to do yours? Might look a little different each time that we go to do it. Maybe just a touch different. There we go. Launch in, and watch this. Say we don't like the rock color. Scrape it off. Okay, leave that shadow. Get rid of that pile of paint. Let's go in and make a brighter color that'll stand out. A little yellow ochre, a little brown. Because over time, the more that you push on there, the more it mixes in. So you gotta go back, make up a new little highlight. Sometimes wipe off everything that you had up there in order to get something to work. Now let's say you're trying to drag and it doesn't come off. Come back in here like this. Little taps. Little tappy tappers. All right, tap it over our shadowy area, tap it down to the front. Where do you want it to be? Where do you want your light areas and your dark areas? Right? Let's tap in some of our darker shadows back underneath that guy, because not everywhere is just gonna be in the light. So get that darkness, all that texture on that rock. Come back in here, just little taps, so it will deposit in a random way. All right, if it deposits in a random way, then we're gonna be looking all set, guys. Oh, I like it. It's looking very cool. Remember to hit that share button. Hit that share button if you like what you see over here. Come underneath this guy and just pull down on him, and then we're gonna drop down. Right? So now there's a little thing. It's not all the same. Pull it either away from the rock towards the beach. Let's not try to lose all of our darkness though. All right? We can very lightly, very lightly go over that guy. Just 1 or 2 times, honestly. Nothing crazier than that. Right? We don't want to drop on too much paint. We don't want to get rid of too much of this bright blue color that we have, which is just gorgeous, if you ask me. Over there and here and everywhere. Now, let's get the little fan brush, come back up here into that kind of greeny, yellowy color. It's not going to be the same, so let's mix it a little different. Over here, over there, just getting it onto our brush. And we'll pop it onto this guy. Very light pressure though. The reason it will deposit with this lighter pressure is because it has that liquid white in it. If you don't have your liquid white in it, and the mixture isn't just right, then it's not going to come off of our brush very easily. It's going to be very difficult for it to come off. You'll have to push too hard. And when you're pushing too hard on the brush, that's when you're making all that mud, right? We don't want to make the mud out there. We just want to push lightly enough that we drop on the smallest little bits, right? And let the back of our tree always become darker. So if you get too many bright areas back here in your shadow, just go over it with your shadow brush one more time. Hey, soften them down a little bit, remembering that not every single thing is going to be as bright as everything else. And if you have something that's too bright, then you're at the point where you've got to make everything else brighter just to accommodate for that too bright of a spot, right? So, don't get too crazy out there, guys. Too crazy is bad. Too much paint, too much pressure, right? Back in here, a little of our green again with the yellow mix and the liquid white. We want our mix to be correct. If your mix is off, nothing works. Let's get out here, smack at it. Tap at it. The more we go down the tree, the darker it gets, which is good because we don't want everything down here to be as bright as everything up top. It's catching more light up there. It's getting darker as it comes down this way. Okay. Up its backside, just blow out its whole backside out here. Just push. The more you do, the more little taps you give at it, the softer those bright areas become, and they'll look more real. Right? Just little things, little tiny little things. Little babes in the woods, little tiny little thingies, little schmidgens, and then we can come back with our darker brush if we need to. And just add some supreme dark areas in there along the back side of our tree. That's literally it. Right now, how far does your tree go down? Is there a little trunk in there that you can see? Can you see bits of your tree that are open? Right? All up to us. How many little bits that we can add? My mom would always say you'd have to turn the tree around if it had an open area, and that way it wouldn't look funny for the Christmas tree. Anybody else's parents like that? My mom was like that. And now I'm like that. I don't know. It's like a generational gap thing. It just flows down. I'm like that, and I'm sure because I'm like that, Bailey will probably be like that. All depends, right? A little bit of liquid white, titanium white. With our sap green and our yellows and stuff, with the liquid white, and just come down, little taps, little taps, little taps. Let it get darker. Let it get real dark back here. It's very shadowy. Very shadowy back here. You know what? When we went down to the beach yesterday and saw all these trees and different things, you know me, I'm out there studying, trying to make for some good paintings and such, right? And there's a lot, and I'm talking about a lot, of just white branches that are coming out of all that greenery. And so, just in, oh no, I've had this open all over. Just in, oh, it's okay. So this one's still available, guys, still there. Just because of all of the inspo that I got down at the beachery. Let's take a little of our liquid white. Our titanium white and our odorless mineral spirits, which makes it run even runnier than the liquid white. So you're trying to run down there. We'll get these little things back in here, and let's start popping out a couple little branches. Just coming out of everywhere, literally. Like, they grow out there. There's stuff from all over. Maybe this guy, little white guy out there, a couple little branches off of him. Out in the back. You get all these cool little things. Now, if you can leave a little line of darkness behind your bit of trunk, it'll just make it look more 3D, right? Which is all we ever do, trying to make it look more 3D. What if you had a big old branch right there? Just growing up and out. Remember, lots of our odorless mineral spirits, which is our brush cleaner. And then, bink! Be crazy with it. You gotta get wild. They live out there, guys. I'm telling you, I just saw them. I was just there. Lots of little things growing up. Growing out. Over there, over here. Wherever we want them to be, that's where they get to be. Right? However many you want to do, that's however many you want to do. And we have them growing out of here. Right? So we push so far, that helps push everything into the distance, my friends. When you get that bit crossing over, that's what you want. Come up here, tap right where our tree was. This one looks like it's behind our rock. There we go. A couple little white little things out there is all you need, and they'll blend in and start to change and grow and move and stuff. And that's perfectly fine, because that's what we want to do. Remember your ski? Drop it off. Yes! That's what we're looking for right there. That's what we're looking for. But it's got to be thin enough to come off of your brush. Right? Crisscross all those little guys back in there. That's very cool. That is very cool. Now I'm going to put one more bit of brightness just right at the base right here so we can push that guy back. Anywhere where you can really see him good, just go over him a little. That's all you really have to do. Right? Tap at that guy's base just a little bit just to make him look a little more further away, brighten it up. However you got to do it in order for it to look right to you. Right? That's literally it. That is a cool painting. Sweet cool, guys. Let me do my finger right here. There we go. Now, we got to go back with our liquid white. This is the last step. It's all liquid white. No titanium quite. We'll come out here. We just want to make pretty much a straight line all the way down. It's quite literally it. Quite literally. I saw it. We were there. We viewed it. That's what it looked like. Right out there. Now we're pushing with a lot of force in order to drop that ridge of paint out. Right there. It's got to come out. It's got to sit right out here on the front, just like that. Right? You see that little bit of bright ridge? That's the ridge that we want. And you have to be pushing hard enough with enough liquid white or titanium white mix onto our brush and drop it on the palette over there. Right? And then we can slide it all backwards with our little brush. It's going to be fabulous. Okay? We'll get in here with our, just a small little fan brush. A little old guy. Right? We'll start down here. Take all this paint and just slide it back towards that water. Just very straight though. Very horizontal. Don't try to make it and get crazy and, start going up at different angles. Just straight out. Doesn't all have to be the same. Right? You can blend it with the fan brush, right like that. Taking away little things, not trying to get rid of our little blue area because I like that so much, right? And again, it's all up to us every time that we go to do it. Just like that. Fabulous. How many little bits can you get to slide off of your knife and just deposit those little diamonds, right? Little diamonds. You can also do these with specks off of your fan brush, so you don't have to get these little white details with your knife. You can go back in and flick with your fan brush and launch off a whole bunch of little specks. That looks really cool though. I like that. I don't know about you guys, but I like it. I might just take it out of the store. Quite literally, you might just take it right out and put a little bit of my plaque mix right underneath some parts of my little foamy thing because I lost my dark separator. And you know we need it. Doesn't have to be fully connected, but just like that. Just the smallest bit of it. And you can see the difference when you have that little dark separator underneath there. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to go everywhere, right? Just this little shadow down here. And then if you needed to, in these areas down here at least, come over it again. Little things, little things, little things. That's very cool. I like that. There. Just wiggling back and forth, but going in reverse. Just going up instead of down. Very cool, guys. I like it. I like it. I like it. Okay. You guys, you gotta let me know. What are we gonna name this thing? Right? We gotta come up with a title for it. So what should we call it? You are the judges. Right? You're the judges over here, guys. You make the rules. Go a little bit, just a little brighter in our sandy area, just a touch. Right? I don't want it to be as bright as my water, of course. A little area. Over here, over there. Not trying to grab that bit of stuff. There we go. Then we'll go back and we'll flick on all of our little sandy bits and our little sand details. It's going to be fabulous. Just wickedly awesome. And now, that little line looks like it should move up just a small little bit. Right up to here. We're pushing real hard, trying to skirt that paint down over that little darker, shadowier area. Right? You want it to be that wet, darker area right before you get to the brightness of your sand. Fabulous. Fantastic. Sandtastic. I never thought of that before. Very, very cool. Now, we'll go back in here with our liquid, or odorless mineral spirits. Dang, is it already 6? Our odorless mineral spirits, our cleaner, basically. And a little bit of our plaque mix, so it's very runny. Got some more black in here. There we go. Very runny. Get a couple little dark spots. And we'll put them out here on the edge of our palette, and then go through and just flick them in to our sand. Don't want to have too many. Right? Just like that. A couple little dark specks. And they'll be the coolest little details for your eyeballs. All right, we'll get a little of our liquid white. Same thing. And put the liquid white out here on the edge. Just like that. Go back over it very lightly. Flicking on just a few little seashells or specks into our sand. Right? And the more little specks you put, the brighter your sand's going to be. So you decide when it looks okay. And then that's what you go for. Right? Very cool. I like it, you guys. I like it. Thanks for the follows. You guys are amazing. I just love yous all. Get that out here. There you go. Boom! Guys and gals and paint and pals, that looks really cool. It looks really, really cool. Remember, grab this one, paintwithjosh.com. It can be yours. And get up underneath that little dark separator with a bit of this lighter color. Just with a little bit of white onto my brush, kind of lighting up that area so it looks like that. You know what I mean? Just a little bit lighter than the sand. And that looks wicked. Like that, guys. That's so cool. Okay. Awesome little seascape out there in the night. Came out amazing. You can go back for days and add little details in different places and stuff. Literally totally up to you how bright you want it to be, how many little things, just kind of like we're doing with our mountains, except we're just being a little bit more odd because that's the ocean, right? You don't want to have it out there all too equal and stuff. You gotta have it be weird and odd and crazy, right? That's the fun part about it, the craziness. The crazy fun times, guys. Bink. Little things in the day or night, wherever. Here, paint becomes very wet though, so be careful. You gotta make sure you got one side going down this way and one going that way if you're gonna do a ridge like that. Right, so let there be an edge. There, perfect. Just one little edge of that wave. So it's got stuff on the top going one way, stuff on the bottom going another way. Looking fantastic, guys. Wicked. I like that. Okay, you guys start coming up with a title. What would you call it? If it was yours and you had the option to name it, what would you call this one? Just let us know. Let us know in the comments below. I've got a ton of stuff to clean up. So you guys start typing in your comment suggestions. If somebody purchases this one during the live show, then they get to name it. And I'm going to give them a free poster, you guys. I'm going to give you a free poster if you grab this one during the live show. It's a signed, framed poster. I'll show you what it looks like. I'll show you. Actually, I'll give you your choice. I'll give you the choice of either the, I think it was Evening on Green Bay is what we called this one. Either this guy or this guy in the frame for your viewing pleasure. Right, with the glass front, whichever one you want. But you got to get the painting during the live show. You got to get it. And then you'll get that free gift. That's like the grand prize gift, you guys. Orange icicle waves. I like that. I like that. Washington Waverly Sunset. Our monkey life Tasha. So you go to paintwithjosh.com. And it's the very first thing that you're going to see when you get there. Right? It won't look like this either. It doesn't look like this. Right? It's just a bland, plain thumbnail. Because we didn't know what the painting was going to look like when we're doing it live. So we just put a bland thumbnail up there. And if you like it, and you get it during the live show, I'll give you one of those free posters, your choice of those free posters. But you just got to let me know which one it would be if you grab the painting during the live show. You get a free gift. Birds are my favorite. Oh, fabulous. I like this one, guys. It came out really, really good. Well, I guess we'll put the signature over on the left. We'll put it on the left side. Use some of our liquid white because it's very runny already. I don't tend to want to make another mess or get another brush dirty. So I just tend to use the liquid white. It stands out and it's very cool. Very cool. Very cool, guys. So let's come up with a title. Like I said, if you grab it during the live show, you get a free poster. Framed, signed poster that'll go with the painting. Just because you guys are awesome. There's no other reason. Plus, if somebody does get this one, then that'll make me come back and do a second show, which I kind of don't want to do. Oh man, look at that though. Those shadowy areas. It's just gorgeous. Pines on the Pacific. I like that. I like that. That's actually a really cool title, guys. So let me finish cleaning off these brushes. And then we'll give anybody their last chance at getting this one. I might just pull it out of the store and keep it for my own self. I like it so much. Over here. You guys hit me with your titles. Plus, if we do find a new owner for it, then we get to have the light party and do all that stuff. Otherwise, it's me and Cosmic are doing a light party. So if you want to see it in the light party, we got to get it to go to somebody's house. Somebody's besides my house. Or, if you just give me a few more seconds, I'll be done with these brushes and we'll name it and put it on the wall. It'll be awesome. I had 3 brushes left. 3 left. So come up with your title. What are you going to call it? Tell me now. Tell me now, everybody. Boom, boom, boom. Last, let's save the biggest for last. biggest brush for last. There we go. So, what do we got? What do we got? Now that poster print is a 16 by 20 inch too. Framed with glass? You can't beat that. Looks like you're getting 2 in 1. There we go. 2 paintings in 1. Except one of them's a poster. You know what I meant. You know what I meant. There we go. Try to get rid of all this excess paint. Clear it up. And that way it doesn't go all hard on the palette overnight. Perfect. Just got a little bit more cleanup action, guys. Ooh, you know what we should do is throw some spray into the waves, too. That'd be a good idea. Gotta have some watery spray bits out there. Just in my own mind. Just in my own brain. Gotta have the spray bits. There we go. This is why we wear gloves, by the way. Because it gets everywhere. Okay, one more little detail for us. Let's take our liquid white. Well, you know what we can do too? Since we did the other ones with some fireflies, we can put some fireflies in there. Okay, our liquid white, come over here. Spray, spray, spray. Very tight, very close. This one we were spread back. This guy we want very close up. Right, so you get a couple little bits of water, droplets, that'll fall off of there. And man, that looks cool. I like that little thing. He's all sorts of wave-like. Wave-like, wavelength. Take this guy over too. Right, one little bit can help change your painting. I'm telling you. Hello, guys. That's it right there. My Terry McIntyre. I was just kidding about that that poster frame. Just about that poster frame. I was totally kidding, Terry. Now, Terry, I love you, my dude. Terry has taken a bunch of virtual classes. He's got a few of the Paint with Josh paintings. He loves the Seascapes. I love you. Thank you, Terry. So Terry now gets to choose what we're going to name this thing. I don't have to do it anymore, which is my favorite part. Because I am bad. I'm bad at titling paintings, you guys. Not that good. I used to be good, but then I painted so many paintings that now it's just like every name seems to be the same kind of thing. Sunset, Seascape, this. So I need your help in order to come up with a title, and then Terry gets to pick what that title is now. Terry Cosmic Lighthouse. Terry Muted Pacific. Dude, look at the faraway waves back there. I am in love. That shape is very cool. If we could just make this a bit brighter coming down. Here we go. Indicating that it's flowing down this way. Flatter and flatter and flatter. That just helps make that wave stand out just a bit more. Just a bit more. Down there like that. Fabulous. This spot back here has to be. There we go. Little chunks to drop off there. All that bright texture. That's what you want, ladies and gents. Okay. Terry. What are we going to choose for a title for this one? And while you're picking the title, Terry, let's run the light party and see what we can get. Man, that looks cool. Goodness, take a step back from it and see what you see, guys. I like it. I like it. Man alive. So, what would you name this one? Calming Cove, we have. Peaceful H2O. My Serenity, My Peace, My Ocean. I like that. So, our monkey life. We also have poster prints and canvas prints for much less than the actual paintings are. And I realize it's not in everybody's budget, and which is why I try to make other ones that you could grab. If you go over there, we got lots of stuff. You just gotta go check it out. You just gotta go check it out. That's all you gotta do. Head over there and check it out. This guy a little bit quicker on his frontals. There. There, with the little ridge of water, guys. There went the ridge. There it went. Over here. So, what are we going to name this painting is my question, guys. Terry, what do you think? I'll be looking. Never undercut. So I appreciate that, our monkey live. So if you, like I said, if you head over to my website, and then I've got different collections of different things, from, you know, canvas prints to posters to puzzles and all sorts of different stuff that we like to turn the old paintings into. There we go. Over here, over there. Perfect. Always have to finger paint just a little bit. Just a bit, guys. One other little thing. This guy right here. There. Much better. I like-y. Okay, so, Terry, what are we going to title this guy? And I forgot to hit the old, hey, guys! Ah! Woo! Woohoo! It's my favorite noise ever. So, thank you. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. I'm going to do that. Oh, I think I just pulled my back out. You guys! So, what are we going to title this one? Terry gets to tell us. And then, the longer we stay up here, the less chance I'm going to be coming back for another show. Serenity Cove, thanks to Go With The Flow. Serenity Cove, guys. I like that. Man, you guys really hooked me up tonight. Really? Okay. Let's take the top of this guy. There's not much room that we have to mush around with, because we were able to do a lot of it on the edges of this bigger canvas. We gotta get the top edge just to blend away. There. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Okay. Oh, Josh, we gotta sign it. That's why we're holding it like this, so we could turn it around. I was like, why does this not make sense to my brain right now? What is going on? Oh yeah, it's supposed to be the other way. Copy. What are we calling it again? Serenity Cove. The old JK on there. Number 1727. Calling it Serenity Cove. Boom, boom. Painted on 3/1, my daughter's birthday. Well, most years, some years. 3 out of the 4 years. 2024, we're all going to go to paintwithjosh.com, because it's the most fantabulous place of all. You guys. And Terry, which of those 2 posters did you want to snag? Since you grabbed this one during the live show, and I did say I would get you a poster with it, which one of those guys did you want? Did you want the green one or the rainbowy psychedelic-y one? You let me know in the comments. And we'll get that into the box with this guy. Woo! Fabulous. So remember, if you get a Paint with Josh painting and it's still wet, it usually takes about 5 to 7 days, and then we can get it into a box and get it out to you. So, very cool. You guys ready to do the light party? Chad Vance. Did I say 24 and write 25? Mr. Cowboy. Let's see. Let me flip you guys around just real quick. I need to do this anyway. All right, so go like this over here. And then, I just want to talk to you guys just real fast. You choose, I like them both. Okay, I'll choose. I'll pick a. So, Chad Vance. Chad. It's my dyslexia sometimes, and Murphy's Law, of course, that I would say the wrong date, right? When there's 300 people watching, of course I would put out the wrong date and write the wrong thing down, right, Chad? It's Murphy's Law, though, right? You know of Murphy's Law. You've seen. Holy. What? Where did that come from? Chad, did you put that white paint on my hat, Chad? Chad? Hey, what's going on? Chad. Oh, you sent me a freaking email and I never wrote back. I am sorry. I saw the 2 paintings that you wanted to do, or that you want a recreation of, and I'll email you back after this. I totally forgot. I'm sorry. Let's see. It's just funny. No. I no hate, Chad. I'm not saying that at all. It's Murphy's Law, though. You know, this paint on my hat is just catching my eye now. Now there's paint on the front. It's all good.
But Chad, you know Murphy's Law, right? That law that says, like, if it can happen, it will happen. You know that law. Everybody knows that law, right? Or am I the crazy one? You know that? You've heard of it? Because then I'm going to ask you one more question, so don't leave. I'm going to ask you one more question. If you know Murphy's Law, just yes or no. And then we'll try to ask you one more question, right? If it can happen, it will happen. That's Murphy's Law, by the way. You don't have to, like, go Google it or nothing. Makes it less fun if you do that. Right? Chad, are you here? Did he leave? Chad might have left. In any case. Well, you know, you can't reel them all in. It's fine. That's fine, Chad. It's fine. But I do love you guys. Everybody over on YouTube, you guys get ready for the light party. We're about to do it. Same thing with you guys on TikTok, right? So, I'm going to flash the lights, flash the painting with lights. Everything's going to change. It's going to go nuts. Oh, Chad, you're here. Chad. Now we're really into it. I just want to ask you 2 questions, Chad. 2. That's it. First question. Question 1. 1 syllable. No, it's 2 syllables. First question. Have you heard of Murphy's Law? That's the very first question, right? Most people have. Even if you think you don't know what it is. It's that sentence that says, if something can happen, it will happen, right? Okay, so you've heard of Murphy's Law. Have you heard of this other guy named Cole? He also wrote a law. It's a little bit more towards to do with painting, and it's much less well known. So if you don't know it, that's perfectly fine, right? And I can tell you what it is. I didn't know it when I first heard of it. So you got to let me know, though. Yeah, just yes or no. And again, it's very simple. I can tell you, we just need a yes or no answer. I don't. Tell me, you've never heard of Cole's Law before? For real? I thought it was more popular than that. But it's basically cabbage and mayonnaise and carrots. You can get it from, let's see, KFC, your local deli. Every backyard barbecue I've ever been to had Cole's Law. You never heard of Cole's Law, Chad? Chad? Sorry. Slaw? That makes no sense. Apparently it's coleslaw. I'm saying it incorrectly, Chad. Chad's like, fuck this guy. I'm swiping away. So everybody over there on YouTube and on TikTok, get ready for the light party. Lord. Get ready for the light party. And this is your flash warning. If you're sensitive to flashes, turn your phone away. Don't look at it for like the next 90 seconds, okay? We're going to start right after all of you guys say, I'm ready, right? Once you type in the words, I'm ready, keep your thumbs ready or your fingers on your keyboard ready to go, right? Chad's blocking you as we speak, right? Because when I see enough I'm readies, we're going to flash the light party and get it started in 3, 2, 1, light party!
Look at those colors. What flashes for you the most? What's the most brightest place? Guys. Diane from Alabama, favorite sandwich, barbecue with hot sauce. That's a sandwich. That's a witch. All right, the light part is now concluded. What was your favorite part? Which part flashed for you the most? Thank you, Stevie Mac. Appreciate you. Which part was flashing for you the most during the light party? Was it the waves? Was it the sky? Was it where? Chad says the waves. See, he didn't block me. He's still there, Cosmic. He didn't block me. All right. Let's see. Waves, waves. The blue. I dig it. And I always see the clouds too, right? The splash on the rock. That's a cool one right back there. Okay, we're going to do one more thing. And I only need everybody to type in one color, okay? I'm going to put blue light, green light, and then red light on the painting. We call it the RGB, the red light, the red, green, blue, the RGB party, right? So, all I need you to do is tell me your favorite color out of the 3 that we're about to flash it with, right? Starting blue in 3, 2, 1. Blue. Oh, it's fabulous. It's fabulous. I love the blue. It makes it look like nighttime. It's just gorgeous. Ready? Gonna go green in 3, 2, 1, green. Oh, it's fantastic. Look at those green and yellows just stand out. Just epically amazing, right? And here comes my favorite in red in 3, 2, 1, red. Ah, just the devil's ocean out there in the night. You guys, look at how it just changes everything. It's so gorgeous. So gorgeous, right? So, what was your favorite color? The red, the green, or the blue as we bring it back to normal lighting. And if you're sensitive to light, you can now look back. Everything is all back to normal. So,
Did you like the green, the blue, or the red the most? I always like the red. I don't know. It's just like dark and scary. And, ooh, I just love the red. I don't know why. I don't know why. Let's see. I'd have to run downstairs and grab it. I can. I don't think I'm gonna be able to come back for a second show though, because it's already 6:30, and Bailey hasn't been fed yet, and I'm gonna have to. Yeah, even if we did, it'd be 7:30, and that would be to 8, and I wouldn't be out of here until 9. It's just getting late, guys. It's getting late. Always red. I agree. I agree. Let me run down and try to find that one real quick. You guys, just for 30 seconds, just take a look at the painting and check it out. And maybe I can find the one that he's got. We found it, guys. So, Mark, if you were looking for the one that Mark grabbed, this is the one that Mark grabbed. It's a little, kind of a softer, not so wild of a seascape. Little pinky in the sky, just a very small amount. Blue sky. We blended the sky so well on this one that we didn't even add any clouds. That's how gorgeous it looked. Really cool little Oregon seascape. Lots of sand in the water. Little bits and rocks and different things that you get out there. And this one was 1687. So good grab, Mark. Got a really good grab. What was it tilted? Huh? Okay, so you guys over on YouTube, I love yous all. I can't wait to see your versions of this painting. Please send it in to facebook.com/paintwithjosh. Excuse me, facebook.com/officialpaintwithjosh or instagram.com/paintwithjoshk. I can't wait to see what you guys can do, and showed you every single thing except the blacked out area, which I have other videos in my literally every single step playlist. I've got videos that show you how to lay out the black, what acrylic to get, the Liquitex black gel. I'll show you everything on those videos. So you can kind of use those videos to make this painting and then come back and make this video, right? So I do love you guys. I can't wait to come back. We'll do it again tomorrow, and until I see you guys again next time, take care. Have the rest of a good day, and blah, blah. Bye, you guys. You guys are amazing. I love yous.